Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever it is for you. For me, it is Sunday, August the 20th, day 543 of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. And I wasn't going to make any videos today because I'm really very busy. And then two things happened. The first thing was the Roscosmos lost the Lunar 25 lander, which to me is a tragedy. And I know it's hard to have sympathy for the Russians right now, but the exploration of the cosmos is something that we should all be excited about, no matter who's doing it. And the race between the Russians and the Indians to be the fourth nation to land on the moon was very exciting to me personally. So, my condolences to the Russian team and my fondest wishes for a successful landing to the Indian team. Good luck, guys. It's an awful hard thing to do to go to the nearest planetary body, boy, and you deserve a lot of credit if you make it there. Okay, now, the other thing is, my friend Vanetta said to me, Petey, you should check out this guy, The Real Truth 62, on TikTok. And I said, okay. So I went over there and I listened to him talk for a few minutes. Then I got a headache. Warren Thornton is his name. And Mr. Thornton seems to be confused about some basic realities, some basic facts. And the fact that I want to take issue with uh, is his assertion that the Ukrainians have failed in the counteroffensive because they failed to even take back 50 square kilometers since the counteroffensive began. Now, this is simply not true. And to everybody who listens to Mr. Thornton, I would encourage you to do some math because you can do math, right? Anybody can do math. And if you do some math, you'll very quickly recognize that Mr. Thornton is not basing his opinions on what looks like facts to me. So let's take a look here. How much land have the Ukrainian armed forces recovered since the beginning of this counteroffensive? And I'm using deep state maps here because it's the easiest one to use for this kind of thing. I would point out that the Suryak maps agree for the most part. There's a maybe 10% differential with the Suryak maps. And Suryak Maps is a pro-Russian, clearly pro-Russian mapper. Um, but they're only on Telegram and Twitter, and their maps are not easy to use. So this one is very easy to use. So we can start right here south of Orikhiv. Let's take a look. Since the counteroffensive began, whoa, the very first area that we click on there is 56.81 square kilometers of liberated territory. More right off the bat that Mr. Thornton claims the UAF has retaken since the start of the counteroffensive. If we go over here, right down toward Robotny, whoa, there's another 28 square kilometers. Just for the sake of ease, right? Let's call these, what's this one here? Let's call that 55 just to make the math easy for me. And let's call that 30. So that's 85. But look at this. There's the recent gains of Robotny, right? That's another 13. So that's 98 square kilometers. Then we come up here to Novos. Sorry, I apologize. Uh, Ukrainian town names are not easy for an American. They really aren't. But here's another 32. So that's 130 square kilometers, double what he claims. And we haven't even gotten up here to the Velka Novosilka area. Here we've got another 70. So now we're at 200 kilometers, 4 times his claim. And here, get this, 211 square kilometers. That's 400 square kilometers right there, just on the Zaporizhia front line before we add in this 24 kilometers. It's ridiculous. This guy's ridiculous. If you add it all up, if I were to go along the front line here, and remember, this is just Zaporizhia, if we were to take into account everything that's been recaptured in Donetsk and Luhansk and the Kherson River Delta there, you're looking at well over 500 square kilometers, nearly 600 square kilometers. Now, it took the Russian army, well, actually, it took the Wagner forces 8 months to capture Bakhmut. What's the square? How big is Bakhmut? It's 40 square kilometers. So that means in 10 weeks, the Ukrainian armed forces have recaptured, call it 600 square kilometers compared to 40 square kilometers, 15 times the land area that Wagner took in 8 months. Not to mention the other 50% of everything that they took when they first invaded, right? All the liberated areas, those big blue areas you see there in Kharkiv and in Kherson and the areas around Kiev. Look, make no mistake. And now, let's be clear. The Ukrainians have fire control over the road to Tokmak. Tokmak is the logistical supply hub for the front line. The Russians can't fight without ammunition. And now the Ukrainians are on the heights above the road to Tokmak. They're going to blow everything up. Nobody's getting resupplied. The siege of Crimea has begun. The Russian army in the south is about to wither and die on the vine. That's reality. This guy, if he's willing to lie to you about something that you can figure out yourself just by going online and doing some math, how can you trust him? Go see for yourself. Again, sorry about the Lunar 25, guys. That's a disappointment for everybody, and it should be for everybody. Anytime that science moves backward, anytime that reason and rationality fail in the face of everything else that makes up our species of monkeys in shoes, every time Warren Thornton wants to lie to you, and all you have to do is do a little math to understand you're being lied to, it's a sin and a shame. Thanks, guys. Take care.